Hey, welcome to the Root Barn Podcast. Today we're talking about digital IDs. Root will be on later with us. I'm not sure he'll make this episode, but we've got our good buddy T right over here joining us. What's up, T? How are you, buddy?
Doing great. How you guys doing? Or how you doing? I'll have to ask Root himself.
Yeah, Root will be along. So, hey, I got a new hat.
I see.
Merch.
Very nice.
Etsy store.
Is that
therootbarn.etsy.com. Let me take it off one second. Show it right there. Look at that. Oh,
look at that. Nice logo. I like the red.
Pretty cool. And that's on our store. Let me get that centered up. The Root Barn up there.
Is that fitted?
Yeah, if you go to therootbarn.etsy.com, we got a bunch of merch up there. We got some sweatshirts with this on it, and other hats and shirts and a ton of stuff. All proceeds go to help the show. We don't make much on each one, but if you go check it out, we appreciate it. And like, subscribe, share, and comment on our video here, and that helps us grow as well. So all right. So we're going to get into this topic about the digital ID and how we think this is a horrible idea, and we'll tell you why. And T's got some good insight, being the tech guy, the inside man, what else would you say? You're a technology guru-ish?
I have just enough knowledge to be dangerous. I'll leave it at that.
Don't we all?
Well, yeah. Some are just trained more than others. It just makes it scarier.
Yeah, you have more about certain things that could get you in trouble. More.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, but we're going to try to trickle a little of that out to you. So, all right. So welcome to the Root Barn Podcast. Let's get into it. Okay, y'all, welcome to the Root Barn Podcast. I am the barn. The Root is not here at the moment. He might be in a little bit later, but we got my buddy T right over here. What's up?
I am the barn. What up?
I know.
This, you're talking about this digital ID, this digital pic. You're talking about the passport specifically, or?
No, I'm talking about everything, because it's going to include your passport. It's going to include a vaccine passport, your medical history, everything. It's going to include your driver's license. It's going to include your credit cards, which you already have it with Apple Pay that everybody's familiar with, so you can understand that. You can put your concert tickets on there from SeatGeek or Ticketmaster or wherever you get those from. All of this stuff. But you ever heard of the expression, and I know you and I have because we've been around for a year or two on this planet, called "Don't put all your eggs in one basket."
That's it.
What does that mean for the kids out there who don't really know what that means?
For a mental visual thing.
Yeah, might as well explain it in a layman's term.
Yeah,
so since people don't know what that means.
when the kids are Easter egg hunting, I guess they want to gather up all their eggs and put them in one basket, and then you got them all in one place. Somebody wants to snatch that basket from you, you're done. The eggs are safer being hidden.
And those eggs could be your dollars and money that you got from grandma and grandpa for Christmas, and you put it all in one place instead of hiding it here, hiding it there, putting it over there, putting it in the other thing. So it's not all in the same spot. So if somebody gets one, at least they're not getting everything.
Right.
I think everybody who's watching this probably knows exactly what we're talking about.
Well, it depends on how old they are, I guess. But think of the word nest egg.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be your savings, your life's work, your nest egg.
Yeah.
They don't mention basket. It's just one of those things.
Nest, basket, kind of same thing in this regard.
Nest, basket.
Yeah.
So in today's work, that would be your nest egg would be probably the future cold wallet. But there's going to be a new term. All I know is that the devices that we've become so dependent upon, we have everything, and we don't even need a chip in our neck, for God's sakes, because we walk around with this goddamn thing, and it's as if we go into convulsions if we drop it or leave it someplace. It gets people. I've watched people panic.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, just recently, I left my phone at a Target in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
It was on a cart, and fortunately, I can just remote in and log and just destroy the phone. So I'm not too worried about that. Nobody can get into the phone. I just wanted the damn phone. It's $1,200 for God's sakes.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So logged in, located it. I knew it wasn't. I have different different services on the phone to verify and narrow it down that much further.
Nice.
And sure as shit, I'm expecting it to be in the parking lot, but fortunately somebody was nice enough to turn it in, and I got it. I was able to log in with the password, verify that it was me, and they let me have the phone.
Nice.
Just because I said it was a phone turned in,
Yeah.
But it was nice to be able to locate the damn thing. Now,
Yeah.
what a lot of people don't realize
That if you can do it.
Well, I have it set up in a way that I can break into. I can't break into my phone, but there's been discussion about how your phone, when it dies, that there's still power. I can attest that that is the case. There's
Oh,
still a partition of power.
yeah.
So now, for those that don't know this, there are ways that you can give it a little more power for your own personal use, because there's going to be access to the phone that you just don't have access to. You want to be able to create your own partition,
Yeah.
be able to power it up that much more, right? So you do, well, there's a way to power up your phone
Yeah.
specifically that in the event that it was down or out, like mine was lost, it was
Okay.
dying. The phone was
Okay.
dying.
3%
There's one,
left or whatever.
yeah. Well, there's another 5% on the phone for me to be able to access it, or be able to access a tier in case, just for shits and giggles, that phone, I need to be able to locate the damn thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I did that. I don't need it to be completely knocked dead, or I got to wait for somebody to, to plug it in. They find this Galaxy or iPhone or whatever, they plug it in. They got to wait for it to charge up a little bit before it pings, if you have it set up to, to notify you.
Oh, yeah.
There's all these different, fancy features that if you dig well enough in YouTube, or you have your techie friend that knows these phones like the back of their hand, a whole lot better than me. I mean, there's a lot of 13-year-old kids that can fly around these Apples like they're nothing, or the Samsungs.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't want to get off the rails here. But to be able to access that information and regain control of that basket, if you will, where all my eggs are, it's nice to be able to do that. But that's one positive.
That's a great point. I mean, obviously, you have yours set up because you know how nefarious our institutions can be, and we've all heard about some of the stuff recently. When a criminal has a phone, like Thomas Crooks's phone, the guy who allegedly shot Trump's ear off in Butler, Pennsylvania. They wanted to get into his phone, and Apple wouldn't let them, and blah blah blah. But Apple could get into it, and this is the thing that we're trying to say is, if you can get into it, and I just saw a commercial of, if you lost your credit card at the restaurant or whatever, you left it there, you can go to the app and then just lock it, turn it off. Well, if you can do it, so can someone else. Hacker, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, whoever. And that's kind of the whole point of what we're talking about, with the dangers of this digital ID that is placed out there and presented to us as the convenient way of doing transactions, doing life. So we all know you have your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet or whatever they have on that. And you get your credit cards on there, so you can just tap and pay with your phone. We all know that. So your credit cards are on there. They want to put your driver's license on there. They want to put your passport on there. So you just show your phone at the airport. No, thank you. I'm more than happy to pull out my little passport book, and I'd rather do it that way. Then they'll have your medical information on there and your quote unquote vaccine passport, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. It's nobody's business whether you're vaccinated with this, that, or the other. And it really has meant nothing from time and eternity before now. Nobody has, come in with smallpox and gotten everybody sick with smallpox because of one thing. I mean, it happens. Exactly.
As soon as we stop taking these vaxes, it'll all resurface again for those that actually worked instead of the bullshit that they're trying to profit from.
Right, exactly, because vaccines are supposed to actually stop. Like they lied to us, Rachel Maddow, and told us all that it stops and you can't transmit it and you can't get it. Well, that was all a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
So all of this shit's going together, and it's like, if someone, for example, you didn't have the ability to lock your phone down so that nobody could get into it, most people don't have that ability, don't have that technology, don't know how to do that. So if you lose your phone, technically somebody who knows how could get into your phone. And then once they're into your phone, they've got all your credit cards. They've got all your driver's license information, your home, your work. They have your vaccine information. They have your medical history. They have everything they could possibly know about you because you put it all in one basket called your phone.
Right.
And I hate this shit so bad that I want this shit to just disappear. Unfortunately, it's not going to, because too many people think, oh, it's just so easy. I always have my phone with me. And I didn't have my wallet. Like, I go to the gym in the morning. I don't take my wallet. I just have my phone because I'm just to the gym a minute away and then back home or whatever. And if I want to go out, like, oh, I wanted to get breakfast or a coffee or something like that, and I don't have, Starbucks app, for example, where I can just, use my phone. I just go home and go, oh, well, I can't get that. Who cares? I'm going to drive home and I'll get it later, type of thing. And I'm fine with that. Some people are like, oh my God, they're going to die if they can't just buy it right then and there and have their wallet on their phone. So the bad thing is we've got these digital IDs coming, and here's a group going, no to digital ID. And people have to realize the more convenient it is for you, the more convenient and easy it is for the government or the corporations who have these products, whether it's the banks, whether it's the government, whether it's the hospital, whoever it is, also have information they can get from you real easy that they shouldn't have access to. Oh, but it's locked down. Oh, but we have firewalls. Oh, but there's no way they can get in there. Really? How many times have we heard that Target or Macy's or somebody, Wells Fargo, got hacked and everybody's social security information got taken?
Mm-hmm.
A ton of times. So this is, we need to not comply. Let's see how far this can go. Just stop. I mean, here's the thing. Resist the CBDC. That's the central bank digital currency. Anything that's central bank, centralized, no bueno. I want everything separated out. That's why I like the blockchain much better. That technology, is checks and balances. I mean, it's not just in one spot. It's got to be approved everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a ledger that's wraps the earth basically. Wherever the cloud is, for, if you will.
Yeah.
There's a ledger.
Extremely difficult to hack or to steal stuff.
Yeah. Well, if it could be built, it could be broken.
Exactly. So, nobody wants the digital ID. No one asked for this shit. Who are the people that wanted to put all this on? I mean, I never asked for it. I didn't want it.
So this is what I was mentioning to you offline in our multiple conversations that we have. This is the new face of the transactions that have been on. I mean, basically, the Fed is being the curtain's been pulled back. They're being exposed.
Yeah,
it's been a fraud since 1913. I mean, we flourished as a country before J.P. Morgan ever got involved.
Yeah,
and the powers that be,
and then the Fed, starting.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve, creature from Jekyll Island. That's not like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. That was just those that met at Jekyll Island, Georgia. Read the book. G. Edward Griffin, Creature from Jekyll Island. Wonderful book.
Yeah, I'm going to get that and read it.
Yep. And so this is that CBDC, the central bank digital currency, is they just want to have control. They want to evolve. The Fed is going to evolve. They don't have to turn on the printers. They don't have to worry about a penny costing 3 cents.
Right.
All they got to do is it's a couple keystrokes.
Just on the paper, just on the electronic ledger.
Right.
The number in your Excel document.
The keystrokes don't even have to be entered manually, for God's sakes. Everything is now automatic. We're on autopilot in our whole world. I mean, I'm surprised that we haven't had, something created to wipe our ass. Well, I guess a bidet is kind of like that.
Yeah. It's kind of
I don't know.
Your ass.
You clean your ass. But this new currency is where this is going.
Yeah, and like they're saying, nobody voted for the New World Order. No one needs a carbon wallet. No one wants mRNA injections. That's very true because they don't work, first of all. And this all ties back together to the whole COVID experiment. We
Yep.
were guinea pigs in the whole. How far could they take us to control us? This is yet the CBDC, and Rude and I did this video a while ago, talking about the convenience of this and how they sell it like that. Like, oh, everything's going to be so much easier for you. Oh, so much faster, so much better. And people don't realize that basically what that is uh, what could possibly happen. Well, if you get a speeding ticket, okay, your insurance goes up. But then there's other things that could happen beyond that. Because if everybody has an idea of what your life is doing, what you're doing, then you're not only is your insurance going to go up, but maybe your credit score will go down. So when you want to go buy a new car, like, oh, well, you had some speeding tickets. So your loan amount is going to be at a higher interest rate. Not just from the fact of whether you have a good payment history. It's things that you do in life, your social world. Oh, we've seen that you've spent money at the liquor store and you've gone to some bars and you're a higher risk for a DUI. Therefore, your rates are going to go up, or you're a higher risk for this, that, or the other. Now, they also have companies like, let's just say Microsoft is in there developing this central bank digital currency, but you're an Apple guy like I am. I do design work, so I use an Apple. So now all of a sudden I want to buy a new Apple MacBook or laptop or whatever. And it's not a Microsoft because I don't want to do Microsoft. So then all of a sudden I get charged more in interest or something like that for buying an Apple, instead if I got a discount and a deal for buying Microsoft. Let's just say McDonald's is part of this whole thing. So you can go to McDonald's and you pay, $2.95 for a burger. But if you go to Burger King, that same exact burger is now $3.95 because it's not part of the system that put this whole central bank digital currency there. Now, these are very crass, rudimentary examples of what could happen. But if you don't think that could exponentially explode into something much larger than that, you're fooling yourself.
They're trying to understand originally it started off as targeting advertising.
Right.
I mean, once upon a time, we all had cable boxes in our house.
Yeah.
And, if you had turned on the same channel and turned up the volume throughout the house, let's say you had 5 boxes in your house. Your mom's upstairs, your dad's downstairs, little brother, little sister, they're all in their own point of view and listening to the same channel 13.
Yeah.
Well, mom, dad, and wherever they watch different channels at different times. A little HGTV over here. We've got some sports going on over there. All these different things at different times. But this one time, they're all watching the same channel, and then all of a sudden, you see that people didn't realize this, but advertising was coming up differently on those other boxes because they've actually traced back those devices that actually come in through like a DNS. They targeted each one of those viewers to have their advertising more pinpoint and qualified for that buyer.
Right.
So that now the cable boxes are gone, everybody's snipped, and they're going through Fire Stick or whatever the hell they're doing now, or their Roku's and whatnot, using an app of some sort. So now you have your phone is you.
Yeah.
It's an extension of you.
Yep.
All of the medical information is coming through a portal of some sort. It's not a unified, uniform, or standardized access.
Right.
There are multiple parties. A lot of these websites and apps and whatnot, as you know, from a developmental standpoint, use plugins. Or they use some other software that has a niche that fills in that slot. And why go through the development cost or hire somebody at X amount of dollars when they can buy the license for it? Well, that third party, fourth party, fifth party, whatever party you want to talk about, and that layer of the onion, if you will,
right,
that slice or that layer is what ends up being breached. Okay.
Right.
So, and not all of those layers were ever qualified. Just because they were a developer doesn't mean that part of their contract had the verbiage of maintaining HIPAA compliance.
Yep.
You know, it could have been something that is just a record keeping thing that was customized to maintain the records that happen to have, instead of plumbing inventory, it is literally your medical records.
Yeah.
All it is a ledger of
Yep.
some sort or accounting. So now that
Well,
layer
yeah.
gets breached, and you know, all of a sudden it's now breaching the wash, you know, what is it like? Any pick a breach, whatever breach comes to your head. They've all been breached one form or another.
Your
Their
bank
information,
account,
our
your
information, bank
Target
account,
card,
credit
yeah.
card,
Yep.
anything that's like that. Well, it's built into the cookie, so to speak.
Yeah.
You've got they settled the ones I just read, you know, a class action lawsuit, $455 million, blah, blah, blah. And you and I get $5.
Right.
So if we assume that our information is safe, we're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean, it
it's
is
not.
just, it's ridiculous that that's even a thought.
Yeah.
So, you know, but yet we still are dependent on these devices, and we go with them everywhere. They
Yep.
are, you know, literally attached to the hip, for God's sakes. We share with it. Well, I mean, you mentioned something about credit cards, you know, going around. If you put your Amex or your whatever credit card you have app on your phone,
Mhm.
and whether you know it or not, your location services is activated through that app.
Right.
You sign the EULA, the little end user license agreement,
Yep.
and you know it gives that the ability to triangulate, if you will, just for something that maybe somebody would understand.
Yeah.
Your
Even if you
card
turn location services off for that app.
doesn't matter; it's
Yeah.
still on.
Yeah.
And well, the reason it does that, you can go in and turn it off. You have to go through and go through the sub settings there, but you have to find it, go
Right.
through the settings, and then go through the app, and then you got to look through the fine print because boom, it comes back on, even on a
Yeah.
reboot.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and what that does is helps with the fraud prevention.
Hmm.
So let's say Jim is he's getting gas at, you know, and he's using his Amex and he tapped to pay. Well, somebody else could have blipped him at the same time,
True.
you know, and just, you know, from doing a broadcast in a parking lot. I mean, you can middleman attack anybody's shit at anytime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, they're constantly being bumped and whatnot. So
Yeah.
now, all of a sudden you're getting, I mean, it's literally an email away from blasting it out on the dark web per se, or a post where they're they have your full footprint of your card.
Yeah.
They can duplicate that card immediately. And
Yeah.
for instance, I was getting a hamburger. I was getting a hamburger while somebody was getting a steak in Hialeah, Florida on my card,
Nice.
you
Yeah.
know? And if you don't have a backup for something like that, you're screwed. My
Right.
recommendation, you know, is number one is the old tradecraft thing. Keep five $20 bills, or four $20 bills and two tens, right? Keep them tucked in your wallet. Forget you have them. Just
Right.
know you have them.
Yeah.
And if you ever have to use them, replace them. Tell this to your kids too, at least $20 in their case.
Yeah.
For the younger generation.
Cash is still going to be king no matter
Cash
what.
is still something. It's negotiable, and it can get you out of a jam. It can also help you if your card is stranded. You know, you may have to give them, you know, if let's say you pump $100 worth of gas and you don't have $100 on you, you know, be prepared to leave your license, go get whatever you got to get squared away and come back and get your license. Just
Yeah.
don't run off and, you know, and cause a further problem.
Right.
But what I do is, in the event that a card is breached, you know, you have multiple accounts set up, and you turn off overdraft, and you put your monies into one account. If you have this app, then you can log in and transfer the money that you're going to spend. Right.
Right. Right.
The only problem is that if the phone dies, you don't have access to the internet or something like that, and you can't transfer, and you're pretty much SOL.
Yeah.
You know, you got to think about how many I mean, this is the micro shit that you have to think about at this point. Let's say the scenario is I'm filling up gas, and I didn't, you know, think, you know, to drop a few $100s into my account. If you don't have a credit card, which a lot of people aren't going to have one soon, they're getting rid of credit bureaus, or they're changing up things that people just don't understand. So
we'll have to get into that in another podcast.
That's a
too. Yeah.
That's actually associated, but this the what you were saying about social credit score potential,
Yeah.
all of these things, they're all associated.
Yeah.
Every goddamn thing is associated with it. But
Yeah.
if you don't have a control of your finances, make sure you have some sort of cash. Keep low denominations around for a while,
Yeah.
and
Definitely. Because
collect
it's hard to
change.
spend $100 bill when you can spend just a couple 20s.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all.
screw it. Well, I mean, the other thing, the reason I have multiple 20s is, if you say, "Hey, buddy, I'll pay you $20 if, can you give me a ride around the corner or something, whatever." He's like,
Right.
"Yeah, yeah." And all of a sudden, you pull out $100. He goes, "No, I won't take 20. I'll take the 100."
Right. Right.
So just reach in
Yeah.
your pocket so you can pull out a 20.
Yeah.
It helps at a garage sale too for those cheap pricks that say, "I only got $5."
Yeah.
And you get something for 50. Like you
Right.
bastard.
Exactly. Well, and
So
that's the thing. And so
so
people need to
subject.
understand. And people need to understand that like you were talking about, because they all know everything you're doing,
Mhm.
and now they want this information so they can stream, focus ads to you. And we've all seen it. You sit there and you're just talking about something, and it could be a conversation about this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden you just have, oh yeah, I gotta get dog food today because the dog's almost out. And then all of a sudden you get hit with these ads for dog food
Yeah.
automatically.
Yep.
So that's the kind of big brother shit we're talking about.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
his
and
fat
that's
little
just
brother.
one small measly little teeny tiny example, and that's all we've talked about, these teeny tiny examples. And it's the car insurance thing, it's McDonald's over Burger King, it's the Apple over Microsoft, and how much they, and if you've gone to the liquor store too much, somebody might think, oh, you've gone to liquor store way too much, you're a higher you're a higher liability for something happening. So this is what we're trying to say: stop putting your eggs in one basket. I am totally fine bringing out my wallet and putting my physical credit card down. Now, can that be hacked? Yes, everything can be hacked. Everything could be stolen. The waiter or the waitress at the restaurant could write your number down and all of that. The chances of them doing that, a little lower, but it could happen anywhere. But I would rather have that than everything on my phone. All I have to do is show my phone. I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing things at the airport where all you have to do is put your face up to the freaking thing and have them like, you know what? I'll use my passport and you can look at my picture in my passport book. Thank you very much. So these are the things that we're kind of talking about. This is coming. Apple has now implemented this in their system beyond just the wallet where you can pay Apple Pay and all that stuff, is putting everything in there, and they're talking about your passport. So be very careful. Do what you want to do. I'm not going to, as long as I possibly freaking can, not do this. And I'd rather just pull out a wallet for this, that, or the other. I'd rather have to bring my social security card if I ever need it. You really never, ever really would need that for anything other than for a bank, for a loan type of thing. Make sure it's you type of, very few things you need to have that ever for. But I don't want to do it.
That real ID, for instance, there's people that still
that
don't have the real ID, and you don't even actually need it, which is shocking because they'll charge you a fee for not having it.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know what it was, like $13 or something.
Yeah, at the airport. The real ID is a sham. It's a scam. Yeah. It's yet another way to track you.
Yes.
That's all it is, people. You have to understand. And that stupid yellow star at the top, and I didn't even have a chance to say yes or no whether I wanted it. I do want to maybe try to go down to the DMV and say, hey, I lost my driver's license. Can I get a new driver's license? Not a real ID. I just want the driver's license, and see if I can get one that doesn't have that on it. Because here, where we are, you have to show your ID. It doesn't matter if you're our age, you're older, your grandma has to go. They have to scan your ID to get you into a bar or to buy liquor or to buy this, that, or the other. And I'm like, I'm sorry, do I not look over 30? Why do I need to scan the back of my driver's license, my ID, to buy liquor if I clearly don't look anywhere near like I'm just barely 21? You and I, T, do not look anywhere near 21 years old. I hate to tell you, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry about that.
I'm just part of the Red Sea.
Right.
It's my Moses.
It's a way of tracking us. And so we're going to show a couple little more in videos here, and then we're going to kind of move on to the next topic.
Hey,
But this is stuff I think you guys need to understand what's going on if you don't. So here's a little explanation, and we'll listen to this first, and then we'll go to the next one.
If you want to know if you don't support digital ID, charge yourself 2 questions. Is it the state's job to make ID digital and centralize all our data into one thing? And also, do you trust the government with your data? We know in 2020 to 2021, 49 data breaches by the Ministry of Defense found out about the Afghanistan relocation scheme. That's just one case of 49 data breaches where we found out we cannot trust the government. How many other things have been leaked? I do not trust it. We have a simple situation where if you want to work, you've got a national insurance number. Why don't we just keep it? Simple and effective.
Exactly.
so your topics here are your coverage right now. A lot of the UK, you'll notice the first image that you brought up had the UK, Canadian, and the Australian flag.
Yeah.
They're having a really tough time over there. They're being controlled, big time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening here. It's just a little more subtle.
Yeah.
The
Just chipping away at it, just chiseling
away.
away at it.
So here's a little golden nugget. If you're familiar with the service Plaid, have you ever heard of Plaid?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever used it?
No.
All right.
At least
So
not that I know of.
Plaid is not an app.
Okay.
It's a service that's through banking. You can list. I can easily provide you a list of 100 different companies, whether it's a SoFi, like SoFi, if you're doing like refinances, or your banks, or your tax return, or anything like even some of the people during PPP loans and that kind of thing.
Right.
They needed to vet their information and attach their bank accounts. Right. So you are just like you get on some of these apps and you enter your username and password, let's say on Reddit, and you can log in via Google or something like that. They add a third party access to your control.
Yeah.
And then what ends up happening is you never logged out of Plaid.
Mm.
So Plaid is constantly monitoring your purchase.
Lovely.
So now when Plaid has, let's say, hypothetically, a subscription to TransUnion, and TransUnion has, in so many cases, have you ever heard of this thing called, let me see, TurboTax?
Huh. Yeah.
So you're familiar with their affiliated companies that they own?
I am or was, but I can't think off the top of my head some of them.
So when you have Credit Karma, for instance, you have Credit Karma, which is
Isn't
a
that like
credit
PayPal
reporting.
is also part of that or something?
Nope.
I can't remember.
Credit Karma is owned by the same Intuit.
Intuit, yeah.
INTUIT. So you have it's like QuickBooks and so on.
Yeah.
So they're constantly developing on their ledger. You have TurboTax. They're all intertwined, right? Then you have to validate through Plaid. So now they're building up this. These are all of those are linked together, but now they have behavioral analysis that can. When you fill out an application, it says, well, how much is your yearly income? And you say 150,000.
Right.
Well, they happen to be subscribing to Credit Karma, through TransUnion or whatever the case is. They can vet whether or not you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And whether or not you have, with the access of Plaid that was on there, they can say how much actually disposable income you actually have. Or in fact, that if they did buy an insurance company that happened to be a subscriber, they could see whether or not you use a lot more alcohol, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So it builds up these databases, and it's actually unconstitutional. It's against the law for our government to have databases on the citizens.
Yeah, of course it is, but they still do it.
Well, they do it third party.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So we're not actually really touching it, but somebody else is touching it. Yeah.
That's the military contracts that make all of these companies, Facebook, Instagram, they're all obviously, it's the same company, Meta. And then you've got your Google at one point, at one time, they bought a company called Choice Point, which was one of the databases that we used as investigators. We would go into that and look up, like LexisNexis, or there's other companies like Axiom, or you probably heard of Cambridge Analytica that was surfaced, from overseas. Well, there's some big boys in that field that don't like competition either. So that's why they get outed. But that plaid information is what was touching on your being able to figure out what your spending patterns are. They tie in theoretically, you could tie in your grocery list and your medical records. And, for those that are, that know how to, read through these things, they can tell what you're eating a little too much of and know exactly when, actuarial accounting.
Actuarial tools.
Actuarial tools. So where they actually, there's a guy named Gary Brecka. He's a biohacker that part of his career for 20 some odd years was determining high net worth people and when they would, within a month or months of their demise. So it was a risk assessment to see whether or not to underwrite their policies and so on and so forth. That's a science, my man. His accuracy was off the charts. So believe me when I tell you, I pay attention to these people. Because when they can say, well, you're not going to be around when you're 60. I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Because you got on this heart med, or you took this vaccine, or you took, as soon as you start one of those specific meds, behind the scenes, they know that 10 years from now, you're going to have osteoporosis, or you're going to have blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And, they say, oh, look at this on your list of friggin' groceries. You go through mouthwash at least 3 times a month. Well, you're going to have, that's going to be poor digestion because you're getting rid of the saliva, which produces the stomach acid, which closes the friggin' esophagus from having acid reflux, and all, it's just like this systematic bullshit that people don't really pay attention to. And I know I'm, going off the rails a little bit, hopefully staying on course. But that is how it's all associated. And this is the micromanaging of our lives that is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They may be sticking with one lane, but they also have 1,000 different lanes that are underneath the one roof that each one of them is controlling. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why we're just saying, it's like, why make it easier for them? Because they're going to get it eventually one way or the other. But if you have to make them go through this channel, that channel, that channel, that channel, that channel, that channel to finally gather all those different things about you instead of one easy access point where they can just get into your phone information and get it right there, you've just made their job easier. I'd rather just make it a little bit harder. They may get it anyway, but at least it's a little bit harder.
So, Jim, when we're talking about our phone, what's next? Right? What's next after, if let's say the phone is not, they're in the process of doing a lot more things. Okay. So, for an example, I want you to pay attention to when you're driving down the road and, all the scenery, the beautiful scenery that you have where you're from. I'm the guy that looks at all the street poles and all that weird shit, like the cell towers and lack of infrastructure. So you notice that the cell towers have all pretty much depopulated and gone lower.
Yeah, for the 5G towers that have that big barrel at the top of the pole now, that's a thicker pole, different pole. Yeah.
So when you go from 5G to 6G, and I don't know, a lot of people don't even know what 6G is.
Yeah.
But you have.
It's just faster. What are you talking about?
Well, it's that too. Yeah. But
it's a lot more.
It was still 4G before they put a sticker on it and said it was 5G compatible or whatever the case is. It's a fucking farce.
Yeah.
They control the faucet of how much bandwidth that we use and so on and so forth. We could have phones that scream, but it just costs more in infrastructure and maintenance and everything else.
Yeah.
So, but when they bring it down to a lower level and you put that antenna on top of the power pole, it becomes like this mesh, if you will. So then it ties in. Then you've got cars that are like Teslas, for instance, that can run off satellite. And then how many of these fuckers are on the road? They'll price these cars almost like printers because the ink costs more. You know what I mean? They'll give the car away.
Can't you get like a Tesla for like 10 G's? No.
25 is what I've seen. I've seen around here, shockingly, 25,000 for a freaking Tesla. And I was like, what the hell? I thought
that
it
used to be 60, 70, 80,000. Yeah. And I've heard they're now coming out with some you could probably pick up for like 10 grand. I'm not talking used ones. I'm talking brand new ones.
When the product is either super cheap or free, you're the product.
Right.
Okay. So we have injectables now in our system that are at a nano scale. Okay. So think of a network per se. You have router, firewall, modem, all those little components. Imagine them within your body. If they can do surgery with a little nanobot that can go out and zap a cell, you mean to tell me they don't control your cells or your network? Your DNA is networked.
Yeah.
We work on frequency, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You want to turn off the switch, you can get a fucking cardiac arrest at any given time if they have enough power. If you don't believe me, review the patents like we do.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the I'm no longer on that side of the ship. So I'm not even on that, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I still want to stay vague because I don't need to get myself into that much more of an issue. But
everything you're doing is making everyone hopefully ask some questions, which is what that's our mantra. That's our thing. Question everything.
Research the patents that are publicly exposed because they're patents you'll never, ever, ever access. National security patents. For those that have a clearance, there's a lot to go through to get a clearance to begin with. But what's shocking is it has a purpose. It has a patriotic duty, but it's like a giant NDA with serious consequence if you fuck up, right? And it's me. But when you're behind that side of the coin, there, if you will, are you aiding and abetting at the same time potentially?
Yeah.
Because of who your boss is or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of weird shit. I want everybody to question everything that they can. It doesn't mean, well, I'm blabbing right now. But times have changed.
Yeah.
Times have absolutely changed. And we need to get ahead of this rather than try and catch up.
Well, you need to understand how to better protect yourself from the inevitable that's going to happen, and at least put yourself in a better position so that you're not so vulnerable or easily vulnerable.
The only way you can do that is by turning off and disconnecting from everything that we're on right now.
Yeah.
There's no other way. Yeah. There's literally no other way. You can go with, if you need to have communications, we're definitely not going with smoke signals anymore. But you may want to learn how to do that.
Pigeon? Maybe.
Yeah, carrier pigeon. Hey, they still work, damn it.
They do.
May not be as fast as our texts and emails, but some rapid radios are nice, or some LoRa or some Mesh-tastic, and learn about all of that if you can. A lot of fascinating information out there. Yeah. But just know that anything you buy in bulk is recorded.
Oh yeah.
So
interesting. Well, here's a little chart. And then there's one last video. This guy also explains it, what we're talking about, also in a little more layman's terms. But if you look at this chart, and I'll put all these in the description link that you can find out. For anyone in the comments claiming we already have digital ID, or this wouldn't change anything, or it's too late, none of this is true. Digital ID is total control and social credit, and we can still say no. So here's his chart. I don't know if I can enlarge it a little bit, but I'll put this in there. But you can see how it's going to control every aspect of your life, from healthcare to financial services, your food and sustainability, travel and mobility. That's the other thing I didn't even mention, is that if you go against what Big Daddy government or whoever it is that says, oh, you shouldn't be able to do this, that, and the other because you did this other thing. I'm sorry, who the hell are you to tell me what I can and can't do, where I can and can't travel and go to? And that's what they're going to try to do. Remember, they tried to do this where with COVID, that you couldn't travel from state to state because you can infect the other people in the next state over and all this bullshit. You know, it is true you could, but you know what? It's been happening from time and eternity for all this shit. Humanitarian response to access services, to demonstrate qualifications to work in foreign country, e-commerce, social platforms, e-government, telecommunications twice. They have that on here twice. That's so weird. Why would they have that on there twice? I don't know. We'll put that in there. Check that out. Take a look at that as well. But this guy kind of explains a little bit more about this that might make sense to people. And, you know, just the possibilities are pretty scary if you think about it, and you need to know what is going on so you can help better protect yourself best you can. And I know it's almost virtually impossible to do that, but got to be able to do something with this. So here, let's see what he.
This is exactly why we should all be concerned about digital ID.
This guy's
to the
in
people
Australia.
saying, why are we concerned about it when everything's already digital, licenses, banking? Digital ID is something completely different. I'm going to show you exactly what it is and how it's going to be used. Digital ID, you see it there in the center of my illustration. The CC's carbon credits, the SES social credit score. The digital ID is essentially two things. It's the government's way of monitoring and controlling the population, but it's also the foundation for framework for what's to come, carbon in the social credit system. Initially, the digital ID will be this. Your banking will be linked to the digital ID. Your purchases, your loans, your mortgages, e-government services.
See, if you don't believe us, this is a guy in Australia that's also saying exactly what we're saying.
By the way, carbon credit was coined by British Petroleum. Just put that out there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I own the domain crbn.credit, just so you know.
Oh, nice.
Wink.
State services like your license, registration, federal services, voting, ATO, Centrelink will all be linked to the digital ID. Employment, you will need to provide your digital ID to get a job. Social media, they will know exactly who you are and what you.
Press pause, Jim. That about that job,
the employment.
About the employment. So with that digital ID, when you do that, there's actually a digital ID password that gives them full access to their social media. They need to know who they're hiring. That's part of the background checks. You also go through a series they have that ties into your license plate, everything you own. Just so you know, it ties into all of these license plate cameras and the history. They know when your car was last, where it was parked a little too long. There's a layer of that onion that you could talk on just that for an hour.
Is everybody comfortable with that, by the way? Is everybody out there, and I'm really kind of talking to the younger generation who has shared we told our girls, stop sharing every little aspect of your life on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and everything else that you've used over the years, Vine videos, everything else you did over the years. Stop showing everything that you do in your life.
If your kid can take a selfie of themselves in your house, or your younger generation that's, I don't know, they could be on Roblox, they could be playing games, they could do all this shit. They want a video chat with their girlfriends in their underwear or their boyfriend, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. There's exploits that you can't even imagine.
Oh my God. So
this information, when you send a selfie, there's information called EXIF data, EXIF data. Mm-hmm. It can be the size of a fucking pixel, for God's sakes. It'll look like a blackhead on somebody's face if you zoomed in.
Oh, yeah.
If you have the right way to extract that, they can find out not only where you live, but what elevation in your 2 or 3 or 4. You could be on the 15th floor, for God's sakes. Yeah. It will tell you where you can go. So don't be surprised if you see a ladder on the side of somebody's house and their kid being abducted from their 2nd-story room in the middle of the night. I'm not full of shit. You can research. It's happened. Yeah. It's happened. So, this is this data is for those that want to know, or those that know. This is how it comes out. I kind of feel bad even saying what I'm saying, because I don't, as much as I want to help with people to have the knowledge, it's a double-edged sword, because you're teaching those that don't have the knowledge. Oh, that's available. Let me look into this.
That's a possibility.
$6. So just know that those people we look for.
Yeah.
So it's that's part of our job. So hopefully they slip up because they don't have all the information.
Yeah, yeah, and this is just, I mean, it's it's a scary thought, and the thing that bugs the shit out of me is the apathy that a lot of these people, these younger people especially, have about this. It's like, oh well, whatever, it's already out there, blah blah blah. Yeah, you screwed yourself a long time ago. I don't share a whole. I used to share a lot more on Facebook and things like that years ago. I haven't shared stuff on there for several years. Every once in a while, I'll thank everybody for wishing me happy birthday or whatever.
Sure.
But because I don't want to just like leave them hanging. I mean, so there's things that you end up kind of just doing, and it just, and every time you get out there, you're like, oh fuck, what did I just do? You don't know. We won't know, and we hope that nothing nefarious happens, but you never know. And this is the thing. He's even talking about you. Do you want okay, what if you did some stupid shit as a kid? The employer uses that against you. Oh, I saw that 5 years ago. You guys did this, that, or the other. I don't know if I can trust that, you're going to be a good fit for our company. They won't ever say that. They'll just say, yeah, we weren't sure you were a good fit. We picked another candidate. That's what you're going to hear.
They don't even have to tell you.
They don't even have to tell you that. We went with a different candidate. Thank you very much for applying.
Well, that's why they're hiring more activists in the HR roles and all this other shit than anything else, because they want complacent, or not complacent. They want no, the people that they follow all the rules. Here's a fucked up thing. You'll notice that most of our stores that we go into now are hiring foreign nationals that barely speak English and have no customer service skills.
Oh, yeah.
And it's by design. The higher management is whatever, that could actually fix our problem. But you and I go in there and we have a problem. We go to the manager on duty, and all of a sudden they're like, I can't help you. My rules are, this is what it is. And, they have zero tolerance because they don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of the banking, for instance, the banking managers and whatnot are foreign.
Yeah.
They could be, another country. They don't have a birth certificate from here. They don't have any of that shit. And by the way, all of these rights that you're talking about here that are being violated technically, and breaches of all this information, all come down to our sovereignty. It's our sovereignty, not sovereign citizens bullshit, but our legit sovereignty as individuals, being created under God type of thing. So research that. Fruit from a Poisonous Tree is a hell of a book.
Yeah.
But it's also another layer of privacy. We are being tested. We will all be on the blockchain. All of us. You're like you just showed the digital ID, for instance. You go, I see rental. Is that rentals?
Yeah,
is that what it says?
I'll play some more of this, once you finish this the thought you have.
So with rentals, for an example, which is the next thing, you go into a Home Depot or wherever they have rentals, and they use a system called Clear. So they want your picture there and blah, blah, blah. Well, on the surface, it's like, well, they just want to validate that you are the one that's renting this piece of equipment. Yet we're still having a problem with with validity for voting.
Yeah, and this could be a house too, for all we know, as well.
Yeah,
renting a house, whatever. Yeah.
You can rent a house, you can rent a car, you can rent any of that stuff. They run a credit check on you. So if you have COVID, still having COVID impact, and you don't have a good score, and you just landed off your flight, don't be surprised you don't get the rental car. So you're pretty much SOL. So be prepared with that. Yep. They won't rent. You'll end up having to go through another service or have somebody else rent you a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's happening right now, and but this Clear, for an example, if let's say you rent 15 things a year, but yet somehow you get creative on your taxes that said, I rented 40 things this year, and here's a fake number, and blah blah blah. Well, you're doing it. You're falsifying this shit, and it's going to end up biting you in the ass. Everything that taxes on a loan are already an issue because they're not even dealing with the actual pennies anymore or the actual cents. They're rounding up. So it's already a false document to begin with, even though they're giving you the permission to do so. But you want to, this is all these little, they're trying to implement these new techs slowly, tolls, easy pass,
Yeah.
all of those things. They, at one point in New York State, they had a trooper that actually recovered information and issued a ticket to somebody for speeding. And all he did
Like
was base it on
retroactively?
information. No, well, yeah, they sent it in the mail that he got a speeding ticket. And then that person ended up suing because you can't get from, let's say, exit 25 to exit 27, that's say 15 miles away, and
in
under,
X amount of time.
let's say it's
At
15
this
miles
time of
away.
day with the traffic, and
Right. It's
Yeah.
65. If you did the math and it was supposed to be 65 miles an hour and you're an hour and a half away, and and all of a sudden they determined that you were doing 90, so you got there in 5.2 minutes or whatever. Obviously these numbers are all fucked up,
right.
but to prove my point, they determined that that person had been speeding, and it was borderline stalking. For what this trooper had done. So they ended up they sued and they won because it was an invasion. This is the early stages of Easy Pass.
Well, you
So
don't think
now,
that'll change, that'll be able to be done lawfully in the future?
yeah. Well, you
Well, it's
have
for the safety of our citizens.
Yeah, it's always that. It's always an emergency that pulls away from our freedoms.
Our rights.
So
exactly.
yeah, that's how. Look at 9/11.
Yep.
9/11 with the Patriot Act, for God's sakes. It was that's amazing.
Bit of legend. Thanks, George W.
Yeah,
fucking that all over for us.
Doesn't matter what party. It's the evil bird controls both wings.
Yep.
Exactly. So
all right, let's listen a little bit more of him,
yeah,
and we'll wrap this up. Rilla.
Line. You'll be held accountable for what you say. There's no more anonymous accounts, no more trolling. They will hold you accountable.
See, that's the other thing. Like in the UK, you can't post anything that's perceived as hateful speech or hate speech. If you
can't
like
do
right
it
now
here
with the Muslims, you
can't do it here,
against
Jim.
Muslims.
You say something against it. Well, the Muslims, because of the their governing body is becoming more and more Muslim majority,
right?
Which is that's their doing. Whatever. I mean, more power to them.
Well, that's
you allow it. That's what happens. They're trying to do that here.
Dearborn.
But Dearborn, Michigan, Minnesota. There's a lot of the population.
Texas.
They know the secret.
Yeah.
They know the secret. So that's up to our politicians. They want that to happen. It's going to happen. You just be careful.
Yeah.
So and it's all by design.
Yep.
So this whole freaking when you say something bad about the UK and you're from the United States and you go overseas, don't be surprised if you're strung up by your toes.
Yeah.
They don't fuck around, man.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of posting online. It's like, well, this is my freedom of speech and blah, blah, blah. Well, listen.
Well, it is until it isn't.
It is. Until it isn't, right? So what they're finding is most of these sites are being co-located or the cloud, if you will, does not follow under our Constitution.
Right.
So if, there's servers coming out of freaking, another country and you say something bad, you may be protected here. Don't expect to leave these borders. So you're going to have your ass chewed out for sure.
So people need to realize, is this the world you want to live in?
Yeah. Well, it's blowing my mind. We have all this control here for our digital footprint, right?
Yeah.
But yet they're bitching about voter ID and how it's it's racist and all this other bullshit. These people I'm telling you right now, they're retarded.
Yeah.
They are literally, there's something wrong. I don't know how they're doing this. It's got to be a programming thing or I don't know, something. But they're all on the same page. If you have EBT for food, why can't that same EBT that was authorized, vetted, and whatever and issued, which by the way, the SNAP benefits are going to have to be reapplied for come January because of all the illegals that are coming up.
We can't have 40 million people getting food for free while we struggle. We talked about that in our last episode, which will hopefully be up before we put this one up. I've just got to edit it together, but yes, we can get that up there. It's just been busy.
Well, they got to re-up. We'll find out where they're at, and they could always use that EBT to sign in to vote. You know what I mean? Earn your vote.
This is the thing people don't get. when you are relying on the government for something, the government giveth, the government taketh away.
That's right.
And that's what digital ID is. Digital ID is hey, we're giving you a convenient way of doing things and transacting life, but we also have that control to take that away from you when you don't fall in line with what we think you should do. I mean, it's a simple way of putting it. Let's listen for this and then we'll move on.
Rentals, we're already seeing it. You will need to use a digital ID to apply for rental properties. Utilities,
yeah,
your mobile phone, internet, electricity, water, gas will all be linked to your digital ID.
Mm-hmm.
Travel, they will know where you are at all times. Medical, your medical history, your vaccination history will all be part of the digital ID. Mm-hmm. And smart cities, that'll come down the track, but that will also be part of the digital ID.
Smart cities.
To all the people saying it's a conspiracy, it's not a conspiracy. You can look it up. The World Economic Forum's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It's all online. It's exactly why Australians should be standing up and saying no to digital ID. Digital ID guarantees our enslavement.
He's not wrong.
No. I mean, I can tell you right now with the technology that we're implementing in our house, we are wiring up, if anybody knows about power over Ethernet. So we're installing power over Ethernet devices, IoT, Internet of Things. Yeah. Every single one of those devices that has an IP address, .1 through .999, whatever. Yeah. Each one of those devices is like a little computer that can analyze your usage. It knows what room you're into because you're turning on the light. It knows what, your phone goes around with you and putting together a map of all your travels throughout the day.
Every step you take.
Every step, every breath, your sleep apnea, your Fitbit, all this bullshit is all coming back. They want to know every single pulse. Everything you do is information gold to them. Yeah. And that's actually going to be something else that's traded. All of our information.
Oh, so information is gold these days. So here's an article. I'll put these links in there. You can check it up on apple.com, check it up on Google, go check it on Samsung, Galaxies, whatever. Mm-hmm. They're introducing the digital ID, a new way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet. Oh, they make it sound so wonderful. Oh, it's so wonderful. Check it out. And it'll go through here and it'll help you understand what it is, but understand what they're saying when they say these things.
Understand that your iPhone is multiple engines. Oh, understand how your phone works. Because even if you turn off location services and whatnot, you as an Apple owner actually connect to other Apple owners. You leave a digital breadcrumb, if you will, to everything that you do, every single thing that you connect to.
Here, you think the shit is off. Phones? No.
Yes, you touch each other's phones. The NFC antenna.
Bluetooth distance? What are you talking about? 30 feet away? Do you know?
More than that. More than that now. Feet? Sure, it can. Yeah, 50 feet.
Well, I saw something they were saying, you can connect this up 250 feet away.
Well, I remember Bluetooth used to be an absolute, awful to be around. I mean, the passwords were 4 digits, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But now, now nobody even pays attention to that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all these little subtleties that kind of sneak in and sneak out of our existence. Yeah. There's a design behind it. So just, you don't get, you don't have to sign for contracts anymore. You can DigiSign or DocuSign or electronic pen. It's not even your signature. They don't even teach signatures in school for some of these elementary school kids because everything wants a digital footprint. They don't want to give your control. They take away from your control. So by doing that, anybody has the ability to become a power of attorney or take you out of your house. So be careful with all of that shit. It's far too much. Even family courts, they're all doing sessions over Zoom calls. Yeah. There's nothing where the hell did the jurisdiction happen outside of a court? Because we sign it. When do we provide breaches, malware into our phones? Because we give it permission by turning on a specific app or playing with a game because
to terms and conditions.
We're agreeing to terms. We want to play chess. We want to download a Bible app. We want to play, like Pogo or some shit like that. And, bubbles, popping bubbles, eating candy, whatever the case is. We want to always be entertained. you know, and this is a time suck, time vampire, and we want the convenience.
Yep.
We are actually, I'm talking to a phone right now. The technology that we are dealing with is blowing my mind compared to what we were, 25 years ago.
Oh my God.
When we were peeling off, or
Yeah.
31 years ago, when we were peeling off AOL CDs from the outside of magazines that were glued with the most amazing glue ever.
Yeah.
And, you put it in the machine, it makes fax tones and 56K modems and all that. Look at what we're doing right now, Jim.
Yeah.
Remember
I know.
our Vegas trip in 2006 at the CES show?
Yeah.
All of the tech that we saw during that time was fucking mind-blowing.
Oh yeah.
And look at us now.
We were trying to get a technology like this for doctors to speak
Telehealth
with patients remotely like this who are in a rural area. It would have been great. We just didn't have the technology. Had this type of thing been around, and now it's around. And like, we were trying that shit 20 years ago, 23 years ago.
10 years ago, I was taking multiple SIM cards from the phones, putting them in a box, in a block, to bond them together so that they could have all, like, the combined service.
Oh yeah.
Okay, just to give kids in rural areas internet, because it was just not the demographic to lay down the infrastructure.
Yeah.
To bring cables and fiber and whatever else. So by us reaching out via, with Starlink now, that's how powerful that is. It gives everybody the ability to be connected. But by doing so, there's not a place. They are literally pricing every square pixel of our planet to put a monetary value on, digitizing it into a meta world, where people are renting our digital footprint, right? And then you have, every square inch of the state parks or whatever else has a value to it. This isn't a fucking game. We're not just talking about our digital privacy. We're talking about there is not one square inch that we can escape the sun, so to speak.
Right.
We will get burned by this, and they don't even want us to fix our own devices. We forensically retrieve information to the point where we have to get right down to the circuit. It's through multiple layers of tech before we can get to it. It's not something you can plug into, in some cases, into a USB-C or whatever the case is. So, it's harder for us to access it from a forensics side. Yet these apps that we're giving permissions to, all they got to do is log in, like on an iCloud or something, and just see all of our shit at any given time at a glance. Mind you, they make money on our convenience, because whoever subscribes them, government subscriptions, they subscribe to looking up JB. They want to know something about the barn or something about the tea. They will find that shit out. And as soon as they tie it into ChatGPT, you would not believe the information that you can get from these AIs.
Yeah.
We are working with hundreds of them, not just the ones that people know, hundreds across the board. And people are creating more and more and more. It's getting out of control. And we're touching on maybe the freckle on an ant's ass, and in comparison to what else is out there. It's just
it's mind blowing. Really,
it's hard. It's truly hard to fathom.
Yeah.
Truly hard to fathom. So hopefully somebody pays attention. I know we were all over the place, but I wasn't.
No worries. I'll try to wrangle us back in a little bit here, but and wrap
Cool.
this one up. But I think the point we've made here is this digital ID stuff has been presented as a convenience, as an easy way to live your life. But really what it is just more control for those in charge of whatever, banking, government, utilities, whatever, you name it. They all control it. They want it in one spot so they can easily access it. So they can go from here and then go up to your medical information. And then, from here, they can go over to your financial information, down here to your education, to here, et cetera, on and on and on. And that will affect what you can and can't do according to somebody else. Somebody else is basically telling you what you can and can't do with your life. Oh, you can't be smoking cigarettes. I don't agree with smoking cigarettes. I think it's the worst thing you can do, and you can put yourself at risk of emphysema and lung cancer and death. But if that's what you want to do, you should have the right to be able to do that, as long as it doesn't affect me. Okay. But they're going to say that they're going to raise insurance rates because, oh, you smoke. Well, they already kind of do that anyway. But now you might have less of an ability to do this, that, or the other because of what you're doing elsewhere that nobody would really know about or have any business knowing about. That's the big thing. Like you're saying, they're controlling every pixel of a digital world that we live on. So every pixel out there in the national parks, in our houses, in our buildings, in our cities, and all that shit being monetized and all that. It's like, oh my God. There are sick, as far as I'm concerned, there are sick people in the world that want to control you. If somebody wants to control you, they're kind of a sick person. They have a slave mentality. They want you to be their slave. Don't you think there's a sickness in their head, really, when it comes to that? Yeah, that's what's happening. So that's their digital ID. Please be aware of what's going on and question everything that you think is easy, convenient, and so much easier just show my phone. Well, yeah, but it's also a lot easier to get everything about you somewhere else and used it against you in the future.
And your loved ones.
And your loved ones, exactly. So anyway, check things out. We appreciate it. Go check out the Rude Barn store at therudebarn.etsy.com and check out some of our merch. We got the new hat here and all that. And there's more sweatshirts and t-shirts and everything else. All proceeds go to help the show. We appreciate it. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good night.